there was definitely a pressure, especially when I went into school. Everyone had social media accounts, so I wanted to kind of fit in.
I don't remember the last time I've been without my phone for like a prolonged period of time.
Most of my friends can't watch a film without being on their phone or watching TikTok.
At the minute, it is probably about 6 or 7 hours, probably 7.
The time will just go like that.
Average of 4 hours, 40 minutes, spent 11 hours on TikTok. It's quite embarrassing. Yeah.
I guess I kind of regret trying to like skip past that part of childhood without mobile phones and social media.
And what do you think your younger self would say if they saw how much time you spend online now?
Be like, get off your phone, mate. Sorry.
Young Tilly would be very disappointed. There's so much more to life than scrolling on your phone.
You put me as a teenager now, and I'd be as hooked and troubled from those devices.
It's almost like you take what's a normal adolescent experience and you've just added gasoline and lit a match.
What I've been saying for a long time is that we're at risk of lobotomizing a generation, and I don't think that's an overstatement.
We have seen such deteriorations in behaviour, attention, concentration.
They'll lose the art of boredom, of creativity, of curiosity, of play, of talk. All the things that children should be doing day in, day out are slowly being eroded.
It stimulates your brain so quickly. And so all of the short form content that you're experiencing, reality isn't going to be enough. It's not going to be the same as that.
My attention span is not as great anymore.
We have seen exponential increases in requests for ADHD assessments.
Children are finding staying on focus on just one activity harder and harder because the world in which they're growing up doesn't work that way. They live in a world where their attention is fragmented and pulled in multiple directions.
It's such a distraction. I feel like if it's there in sight, I will check it.
It distracts me a lot from studying, like my revision.
It's just like a rabbit hole. Just keep scrolling and scrolling, and then next thing you know, you're on it for like an hour and you've done no studying and you're going to fail your exam. That's probably quite dramatic, but...
I have mind blanks because I've been scrolling so much meaningless content.
Social media, I think, has been enormously damaging to my generation on the whole. Of course, I still think, its initial intent was to be a tool for social connection, but what it is now is so far gone from that original vision.
Social media is designed to be addictive. They start following a thread, and before they know it, they've lost 2 hours.
Their neural pathways are hijacked. The dopamine, the hits that you get when you're scrolling through short form content, it feels good and it's really hard to stop.
And when platforms are designed to sate our natural human instincts, then they're not good for us anymore because our human instincts aren't always in our best interests. And that's where the design is hugely affecting us as a population and us as a society.
It is so overstimulating and it is so much information at one time. It is addictive and your brain thinks that that's normal.
What I am concerned about is whether we are using technology or technology is using us. And, certainly we know that any product that's free, we are the product, right? Our data, our time, our attention, that's the commodity. And so, especially for young people, I object to that, right? That isn't what childhood should be.
I even do have regret, day to day. Sometimes I'll pick up my phone and then the next time I check, an hour had gone past and I'll be like, I really wish I just didn't do that, because if I didn't do that, I could have done so much with my day or with my time.
I do really worry about their lost potential and how much better they could have been or could have felt, how much healthier their relationships could have been had they not been so heavily distracted at such an important time in their youth.
Because young people are the future. And if we're, limiting their potential now, what does that mean in 10, 20 years' time?
Social interactions are just being lost. Real social interactions being lost.
You walk along the street and you look in a restaurant and there are 6 friends, but they're all on their phones.
Our generation has forgotten how to live in the moment.
And that's just become a normal thing to kind of, with everyone, I think, to just, if you're in a conversation with someone, check your phone when really you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I do that like all the time.
We fail to be able to read faces and body language. And again, we lose that at our peril because it is the stuff that makes us human and it's the stuff that matters.
The amount of time I am spending on my phone is taking away from everything else that is going on, which is all really exciting. Even if it's moments of boredom, because my mum always used to say to me, like, you need to kind of know what it feels like as a child to be bored, because she'd be bored all the time.
Boredom is one of the most powerful things we can experience because it is that processing time and we need from it to become creative.
All the things that make us essentially human, they're missing out on. And that's leading to huge levels of isolation, of loneliness, and children feeling really unhappy.
It's very strongly evidence-based that loneliness and social isolation shorten lives.
Certain skills aren't being developed. I think primarily about skills of empathy, compassion, critical thinking in particular worries me. And when we don't develop those skills, what does that mean for adults? Will they be able to function as citizens? Will they think critically about who or what they vote for?
I think a lot of our opinions are based on what we see online. And so, although a lot of us try to deny it, we'll see something and then we'll then have that opinion. But it's not our opinion, you know?
It kind of goes into your brain without you realising, like you'll see enough of something and you'll kind of believe it in a way.
Adopting these extremist beliefs that you see on TikTok because you think they're cool.
What is more important than just the acquisition of information is the ability to interpret that information, to think critically about what it means.
And very often you hear the same phrase or comment made at multiple levels across a school, and very quickly you realise this isn't a view that they hold. It's something they've been fed, and it's something that has been scripted for them. And they're just repeating what they hear, and they're repeating it without consciously making that decision.
It's probably the age group where people are most vulnerable to actually adopting these extremist views.
And that, to me, is a global threat to democracy everywhere. That inability to think critically and wonder, am I being manipulated, is deeply, deeply worrisome.
Can you explain to someone that doesn't understand what brain rot means?
Brain rot? Wow. I mean, brain rot.
That is a good question. I couldn't even tell you.
You have all sorts of brain rot. And it's just like stupid, nonsensical videos. Like, I'm trying to think of types of brain rot. Like, I don't even know. I mean, that just shows you, doesn't it? Like, it rotted my brain.
What social media access has done is displaced the experience of childhood and added in an entirely new dimension.
Every single time I go on like my message requests and stuff, it's just reminds me of how scary the world is, because a lot of them are from men, you know, wanting pictures and stuff like that.
It's very easy to kind of be exposed to like horrible things on social media, and I think at a young age it's difficult to not only speak up about it but to not completely take it on.
Just videos that no one should have to see.
I remember seeing that video of Charlie Kirk being assassinated, which was very harrowing. I mean, like, really graphic. Like, I didn't even believe it at first that was actually on TikTok.
One of my friends messaged me and said, oh my gosh, have you seen this video? And I couldn't help myself. I went on TikTok and I looked for the video. And I didn't have to look very far because it was one of the first things that came up.
Like the online world, it's very easy to let things get to you because it's just kind of you alone with your phone.
And do you think your parents understand what you're seeing online?
No, I don't think they could understand because it's not their generation.
So all of this technology was never proven as safe for these kids, and now it's everywhere.
I think seeing things on social media so perfect and so glamorized, you know, it did make me feel insecure.
I think you grow up a lot more self-conscious the earlier you're exposed to social media.
The fact that anxiety and depression levels, especially in the comparison, as I said, I think it's reaching a point now where it's very, very dangerous for people's mental health.
So we're seeing the biggest increases in applications for disability living allowance, PIP, government-funded benefits in our 18 to 25-year-olds around issues like anxiety, ADHD.
And it's becoming increasingly clear that more and more children are not getting enough sleep and therefore finding the school day really difficult.
There's so much needless money being hemorrhaged into the consequences of these children being on this technology. If it's contributing to massive increases in use of ADHD services, optician services, child and adolescent mental health services for anxious children, children who can't sleep, children who are depressed or having suicidal ideas.
But it's odd because in every other sphere of life these days, the precautionary principle holds. You know, if we don't know what the problem is, you know, let's stop potentially exacerbating it further and understand it.
So the precautionary principle says that we should prove that something is safe for children before we allow them onto it. And we would say in this context, much like sex, alcohol, driving, we need legislation, we need protection for children before we allow them liberal access.
And that's precisely what's not happening in this area. We're playing catch up, you know, we're having to do the research. All the while, lives are being fundamentally affected and millions of children are growing up in this world with no protections and no guardrails.
The message to young people is what we are willing to tolerate as a society. Are we going to protect them and protect the world in which they're growing up in?
We wouldn't allow children into a casino, but yet we're, you know, handing these young people such addictive technologies from an early age.
It's bizarre. I can only think it's cash, because big tech is just so lucrative.
Where's the courage to say no and to think about what we gain by delaying, limiting, preventing our children access to these products?
To have algorithms, to have social media, pumping them with toxic messages and with ideologies that are curated and scripted and fed to them is really damaging on a mind that is still growing and that is not yet fully formed. So the idea that a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old can access social media is wrong.
I think it would be amazing if there's some changes put in place because, you know, the world is becoming a very dangerous place and social media is unfortunately one of the causes of that.
It would feel like you're living a new life almost because it's so unknown.
I would get good at a new hobby, you know, there's so many things that you can do.
I could have actually been to doing something like drawing, being creative.
One of the biggest things I tried to free up my time to do is play guitar.
Whilst we're messing about and not creating policies and safeguards quickly enough, we are seeing teenager after teenager saying, I wish I'd never been given a phone so soon. I'm not giving my child a smartphone before 16. I'm not letting them on social media.
If I had the choice, I mean, I wouldn't have social media at all.